The U.S. and China have agreed to temporarily suspend reciprocal tariffs between the two countries.
So the White House announced this morning that starting Wednesday, the U.S. and China will pause tariffs for 90 days while negotiations continue. Under this new agreement, the U.S. would reduce tariffs on Chinese imports to 30% from the current 145%. China would also lower its import tax on American goods to 10% from 125%. U.S. trade representatives spent the weekend in Switzerland trying to work out this deal.
Both countries represented their national interests very well. We concluded that we have shared interest, and we both have an interest in balanced trade. The U.S. will continue moving towards that.
Both the U.S. and China agreed to continue discussions on economic and trade relations. U.S. stock futures surged after that announcement. Qatar's royal family has offered President Trump a jumbo jet to serve as Air Force One.
The luxury Boeing 747-8 would be used until the end of his term before being transferred to his presidential library. The news has raised ethical concerns over how the president could accept such a large gift from a foreign government. And there are security concerns since Air Force One is equipped with secure communications and defenses to protect the president. President Trump is expected to visit Qatar this week. A White House official told Fox News the jet will not be presented or accepted during that trip, but did not deny that the president may take possession of the plane at some point. Meanwhile, Medicaid could face some large budget cuts soon after House Republicans proposed a spending plan with at least $880 billion in cuts.
GOP leaders say the cuts will root out waste, fraud, and abuse and to actually generate some new savings. This includes changes to Medicaid's eligibility and verification requirements. Comes as Republicans seek to find at least $1.5 trillion in savings to cover the costs of $4.5 trillion in tax breaks. Democrats warn the move would cause millions of Americans to lose health insurance. Hamas says it will release the last living American hostage in Gaza.
The U.S.-Israeli citizen has been held captive since the October 7th attack on Israel. Fox's Deborah Valentine has the latest.
New details surrounding the last American hostage being held in Hamas captivity. In a statement Sunday night, the militant group said it is ready to release Edon Alexander, an Israeli-American soldier who grew up in New Jersey. President Donald Trump confirming those claims on Truth Social, calling them a necessary step in ending the brutal Israel-Hamas war. According to the U.S. Special Envoy to the Middle East, Hamas agreed to Alexander's release as, quote, a goodwill gesture toward Trump. This move comes as an ongoing Israeli blockade is preventing aid from entering the Gaza Strip.
When we come here to the soup kitchen, we end up waiting in line for 4 or 5 hours in the sun. Only half the people get food.
We are starved. Children are dying. Children need nutrition. There is none of that.
The IDF says it's an effort to put more strain on Hamas to free the remaining hostages. 59 are still inside Gaza. Roughly a third of them are believed to be alive. But as the blockade presses on, so do deadly Israeli airstrikes across the territory. The Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry says the death toll is now more than 52,000. Meanwhile, President Trump is preparing for a trip to the Middle East this week. He's expected to land in Saudi Arabia on Tuesday before heading to Qatar and then to the United Arab Emirates. So far, there's no plans for the president to stop in Israel. Deborah Valentine for Good Day.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he will meet Russian President Vladimir Putin this week. They're expected to talk directly Thursday in Turkey, but it's still unclear if they will meet in person. It comes after Russia rejected a 30-day ceasefire proposal. The meeting marks a major step in ceasefire negotiations. Could be the first time the two leaders have met since the early weeks of Moscow's full-scale invasion in 2022.